How we doing, everybody, and welcome back to another new comic book day vlog. Today is the beginning of March 4th, 2026, and it is currently 9:50, and I'm right here outside my local comic book store, Multiverse Games and Comics. As always, this is my local, the closest one to me, and it's like 10 minutes from where I live. And today is a big day, the final round of DC K.O. And also, I only have 3 comic books for today, so let me start it off. So, as I said, this is the last round for DC K.O issue 5, and this is the last round. We're going to see who wins this round, this final issue. And let me go back to say, in DC K.O issue 4, it was starting off for our last 4 survivors of our last opponents from the 4th rounds. It was Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, and Joker, and them 4 had to go off against the Absolute Trinity, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, and they both fought them. And I never read the Absolute comics, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Superman, and there's also a few more. I think Absolute Martian Manhunter as well, and Absolute Flash, and some others, I think, but I never read them because it wasn't my interest. And turns out that the Absolutes, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, they're both controlled by Darkseid, and they've taken over their minds and they work for Darkseid. And also in that same issue, Batman returned. So in the first DC K.O, Batman was the first person to be eliminated for DC K.O, and he got his own comic book tie-in to DC K.O called Night Fight. And in that one, he goes off to different dreams, I think, and different realities. And those realities, he got into a fight with Tim Drake, or Tim Drake, and Jason, and Dick Grayson as well. And Dick Grayson created his own he became Batman in that reality, and he created a university to train new Robins, and there were so many Robins. And then in the final issue of DC Night Fight, issue 4, turns out Damian has a son, and Bruce is a grandfather. And then he turns out realize this is what Darkseid wanted for him, to live in this reality, to be with his grandson. And he couldn't accept it. And then he brought back from into the DC K.O fight. And so that's where it kicks off for DC K.O 5. Batman came back from the reality that Darkseid created and fought off against both the Absolute Trinity. But Darkseid appeared, and he kills almost everybody. And the last 2 people that survived was Lex Luthor and Superman. And Superman wanted Lex to help him to defeat Darkseid, but as always, Lex Luthor kills Superman, and he was the main hero. But turns out Darkseid kills him. He didn't even care that he won, so he just killed him. And so now in this issue, we're going to see what happens and see who actually is the real tournament winner. So yeah, and then next is Batman issue number 7. We're going to have our new version of Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez version of the Joker. Last issue, at the end of the comic, we got to see the Joker, and now we're probably going to get like a story of the Joker, maybe, and Batman's going to see him. And so yeah, DC K.O issue 5, the final round, and Batman issue number 7. And next is Speed Racer issue number 6, This one took a break, a 3-month break actually, because the last issue they released was in December, and now we're kicking things, returning back to where Speed Racer left off after the event when he won the race. And so I'm about to head on over there. They're about to open, and let's get our comics. Okay, so we're back from the car. I got all 3 of my comic books, and one of them I said was issue 6, and it was Batman, but it turns out it wasn't. It was issue 7, so I gotta correct myself. So yeah, let's start it off with DC K.O. issue 5, the last issue of the DC K.O. and the end of the DC K.O. series. And let me pull it out to show you. Here it is. This is what it looks like. And if I open this up, this is what it looks like of the cover. And right here's the back. And right here, this is Superman. And this is what it shows after if you lost the DC K.O. event, you turn into stones. That's what happened to everybody that were fighting in the DC K.O. They turn into stone statues. And yeah. So let's see who's going to win. I hope it's Superman, because I really want him to win. I originally wanted to be the Flash, but this Flash was Jay Garrick, and turns out he died in the DC's in the December's of DC All-5 month. I forgot who he went off. Green Lantern. He went off against Green Lantern. What was his name? The one that appeared in the Superman movie. Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner, that was his name. So yeah, he lost to Guy Gardner, and he lost, and turns out Barry Allen, the main my version of the Flash, he was off into the DC K.O. tie-in, so he couldn't be there. So it was Jay Garrick that took his place. So yep, DC K.O. issue 5, final round. And next is Batman issue number 7. This was the one that I said it was issue 6, but it turns out it was not issue 6. Last month was issue 6, and this is issue 7 for this month. And as you can see, a little side, face-to-face side, we got Batman right here and Joker. And as you can see, Joker is inside like a water tube type of thing. And this is our version of the Joker. Let's see what he is and what happened to him. Next is coming back from a break, or a hiatus break, or whatever it happened. Speed Racer issue 6. I really loved this issue, and this is a fun issue to read. I really enjoyed this. And let's see what happens, because in the last issue in December, that was when it was a Speed Racer won the tournament, and he saved all the money to have his pop's surgery, heart surgery, and he did it. And let's see what happens after the event, and see what kind of races he's going in. So yeah, that's basically all 3 of them right here. DC K.O. issue 5. Batman issue 7, and Speed Racer issue 6. And that's pretty much it of all the comic book stuff for this week. And I'll see you on the next New Comic Book Day vlog. Adios.